G.I. Joe, that's like my favorite toy. But my superhero is my dad. My dad is my superhero. He's like big and strong, and he got real muscles. He can lift me off the ground with one arm. One arm, he can lift me off the ground. He says that just because I'm 7, he can do that, but he won't be able to do it when I get older. And so I'm thinking he's talking about when I get real old, like 20 or something. And so he's real strong. When he comes into the room, it's like everything feels safe to me. So right now, I'm in the back seat of the car, and my dad is driving to the store, and he took me to the store with him. And I like when he take me to the store with him because before we get back home, he gets me McDonald's, and I like McDonald's. And I don't tell my sisters. So he parks, and he looks back at me. He said he'd be right back, get out of the car, locks the door, and run into the store across the street. And I'm just sitting in the car and looking at the strange people walk by. And why does car smell like my mom's cigarettes? Ugh. So I see my dad come out of the store, and he got a bag in his hand. He's coming close. He gives me that little wink that he always gives me, and it makes me feel safe, and I'm happy. He's getting closer and closer, and out of nowhere, someone comes and punches my dad 3 times in the stomach and runs off. And I'm thinking somebody that's probably playing with my dad or one of his friends, because my dad can easily take some punches to the stomach because he's big and strong, and I punch him all the time. But when my dad get closer and I look at his face, he's not smiling anymore. He looks afraid. And I never seen that in my dad's face before. And so when I look at him, then he drops his bag and he put his hands over his stomach. And I see nothing but red, going everywhere, spreading. And I don't know what it is, but I know it's not good looking at my dad. So my dad reached for the door, but he falls to the ground. And I bang on the window, Daddy, 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 Daddy. But the sounds is trapped in the vehicle with me. And so then I see a red car stop and a lady jump out, and she runs across the street to my dad, takes off her coat and put it on my dad's stomach and press down. And she lifts my dad's head, and she looks at me, and she tells me to stop crying and that everything will be okay. I hold on to those words because those are the only things in my world not breaking right now. So at the age of 7, I witnessed my father get stabbed 3 times. That woman, that stranger, saved my father's life that night. She was the first responder before the first responder showed up. And she taught me a lesson that day. That lives aren't always saved by the professionals who are paid to do so. That sometimes they are saved by the everyday citizens who refuse to wait. Now, we often tell ourselves we wouldn't know what to do in case of emergency. But time and time again, everyday citizens prove otherwise. Not because they were trained, but simply because they refuse to wait. And in that decision, wait can change everything. And maybe that's the truth that we've forgotten. That sometimes in our unpreparedness, we discover that we weren't prepared enough. Now, being a first responder doesn't always mean running into danger. It can be helping someone that's hurt. It can be calling 911 immediately. It can be stopping a bleed. It can be calming a chaotic situation until help arrives. And I've seen that firsthand. I've seen a mother and her teenage son save a man from a burning vehicle. The son ran for it, pulled the man from the vehicle. The mother called 911 and stood in the middle of the street, waving her arms frantically, stopping oncoming traffic. They had no uniforms on. They simply displayed courage and decided to act. And in that decision to act, they totally changed everything. Now, there is a moment in every emergency when time stops. The noise fades and the world slows. All that remains is a choice. Do I move, do I act, or do I wait? Now, in that way, you have to remember, every minute, every second matters. Because the average emergency response time in the U.S. is 7 to 10 minutes. I'm going to say it again, 7 to 10 minutes. A lot can happen within 7 to 10 minutes. Sometimes we just can't afford to wait. Sometimes we become our very own first responders. And I'll give you an example. Let's say you're going out for a walk. And of course, you're paying attention to your surroundings, you're minding your own business. Your head isn't down in your phone checking Facebook likes, right? Okay, yes, so you're paying attention. All right, so let's say you get the funny feeling that this person has been following you for a while now on your walk, might be following you. What do? Would you turn around and confront them? Probably not. What you probably told yourself is that you'll cross over to the other side of the street. But I want to ask you, what if they cross over also? Now what? You probably said, okay, I'm going to go inside the first place of business that I can. And I agree with you. But I want you to look back at that doorway. See if that person continues to walk by. And if so, okay, maybe you were just being overly cautious, which is okay. But if not, maybe you have something to be worried about. At which time you probably say you'll make a phone call, or you'll call 911, or you'll ask someone in that place of business for help. But in that exact moment, through calm action, quick thinking, you became your very own first responder. Now that's done through awareness and knowing what's going on around you, which is situational awareness, the ability to observe your surroundings and make an assessment about that. Now we all feel we got pretty good awareness skills. I mean, not like a Jason Bourne. But we know, we feel something. We feel we know what's going on. So I want to put you to a test. I want you to think of the last person you had a conversation with, in person. What color shirt were they wearing? Can you honestly tell yourself, don't look over, can you honestly tell yourself what color shirt they had on? Not because it's that important, but because awareness is a skill. And just like any skill, it fades over time if not being practiced. Now, we always been taught that help is on the way. Sir, help is on the way. Ma'am, help is on the way. Just wait, help is on the way. But before the sirens, before the arrival of the flashing red and blue lights, there's a moment in time where ordinary people can make an extraordinary impact. And I've stood in that moment before when someone needed help immediately, and it wasn't about what I knew, it was about how fast I responded. And that is something that every one of us can do by simply focusing on the moment and helping. Can totally change the outcome, possibly save a life. Because in that single moment of readiness, in that single moment of action, can change everything. So I want to leave you with this. The next time your life turns upside down, unexpectedly, the next time an emergency pops up, chaos erupts, just remember when time matters, the first responder isn't always the person that's rushing to the scene that has a uniform on or a badge on his or her chest. It's the person that's already there. You. Thank you.